Life is a roller coaster. Reviewing and planning can make that ride exciting and not terrifying. Looking back and looking ahead can help you stay in the present moment. Having a seasonal plan for your family is a powerful strategy for feeling less anxious and more awesome. So in this video, I'll share with you a simple strategy that you can use for your family season by season. Hey, it's Mira Binzen, author and co-founder, along with my mom and sister, of Global Family Wellness. We're here to empower your family to thrive. So let's talk about seasonal plan for the family. Sounds like something you might do if you're a business, right? But there's lots of great reasons to do it for your family as well. Why plan by the season? Well, there's three good reasons. First of all, a year is way too long, right? We all know New Year's resolutions don't last. It's like some vague, distant future time that's hard to keep us connected with what's going on in the short term. The second reason that seasonal planning is a great idea, and this is my favorite reason, is that every 90 days you get to hit the reset button. You get a fresh start, you get a redo, and I really appreciate that every 90 days. The third reason I recommend planning by the season is that it helps you be in tune with nature. So a simple example of this is where I live in Minnesota. It's dark at 4:30 p.m. in the winter, and it's light out until 9:30 p.m. in the summer. When we take our dog for a walk, the best time to do that in summer is before 9 a.m. while it's still cool out. But in the wintertime, about the only time we're willing to leave the house is about 2 or 3 in the afternoon when there's a little bit of sunlight outside and it's just before sunset. So we shift our schedule, and then because our morning routine changes, other things in the morning routine change as well. And that's just a great way to work with what's going on in the world around us and help us feel more connected to nature, one of our many strategies for feeling less anxious and more awesome. So why plan at all? One of the most important reasons that I recommend this quarterly planning, where you look back and see what's been working and not working and plan ahead for what you want to have happen in your life, is that it really helps you to be more empowered, to help you be the captain of your own ship. It's easy to live life by default. It's easy to live other people's to-dos. When you think about your inbox in your email, that's a long list of other people's to-dos. So when you plan ahead, you're doing what's most important to you and your family, and that really matters. For kids who tend towards anxious feelings, it can be very helpful that there's a bridge laid out ahead of them, and they know that when they step next, they've got something solid to step onto. And a really big benefit is it allows you to say no to things that don't align with your family's purpose. One mom shared, after using the planning guide to plan out her quarterly season coming up, she said, "In filling out this form, I realized I was stretching myself too thin and doing a lot of things that were not in conjunction with my goals. They were actually taking time away from my goals. The guide helped me realize that." So we have a guide that we've created for you. I'll share a link to it in the description below. Another reason for planning is that you're living your life more intentionally with your purpose. I like to think of the analogy of water skiing. Well, I used to water ski a lot before they had those big boats that created their own wakes so you could actually surf. But I would hang on to the bar with my ski and my whole body in the water, and the boat would take off. And slowly, with the water kind of falling at me, and I would push against the water and get out on top of the water and then cruise along and have an awesome time. I think of living intentionally is like getting out on top of the water so you can cruise and have fun instead of having everything constantly coming at you and feeling overwhelmed. So planning ahead is a great way to reduce overwhelm. A note about planning ahead. Sometimes children really need to have everything exactly planned out. They need to know every little detail of everything. And honestly, that's not how life goes. There's always going to be surprises. There's always going to be things that don't turn out the way we wanted them to. And so in the context of creating a plan for your family, we also have to, manage expectations and talk to your child who is prone to needing things to be exactly just so before they do it. Say, you know what? We're becoming jazz musicians. Jazz musicians learn the notes, they learn the chords, they learn how to play everything by the rules so they understand the structure. That's your seasonal plan. And then they riff off of each other. They free form. They play in response to what's going on around them. So they have the structure and they leave that structure and come back to it all the time. And that's what makes for a rockin' world. So talk to your kids about being a jazz player. Like, here's the notes, here's our song for this season, and we're also going to freestyle and riff as we go as well. And that's what makes it cool. So I'm curious, do you already do some kind of planning, or are you a newbie? If you are, type new in the comments right now. Or do you kind of dabble with some planning? You've done some, but you don't stick with it all the time? Type in dabbler in the comments. It'll be fun to see. Or are you a pro planner where you're just looking for some tweaks and refinements to your already stellar system? If so, type pro in the comments. So let's talk about how to plan, do, and review. Plan, do, and review. We can live our lives in this cadence, and it's simple. You can take 15 minutes or you can take an hour. You're going to want to grab our guide or make your own, schedule a time where the whole family can get together, and schedule something fun to do as a family together to celebrate. Like, we did it. And so what you want to do is start out by grabbing some supplies. You want something to write with. Kids might like to color, use different colored gel pens or color pencils. And grab your calendar. You're going to look ahead. So let's talk about the seasons. Depending on which hemisphere you live in on Earth, the seasons are the 2 solstices and the 2 equinoxes. So about March 20th, 22nd is the spring equinox or the fall equinox if you're in the southern hemisphere. Summer solstice, or the solstice, is June 22nd. And so this video is being made during the summer solstice. So then you're planning ahead right through to September 22nd, which is the fall equinox or the next equinox. And then the winter solstice, or if you're in the southern hemisphere, summer solstice, is December 22nd. So right now is a great time to plan for start of school. Sometimes that sneaks right up on us, and it can be very stressful and overwhelming to shift from a nice, open, relaxed summer schedule to the intensity of a rigid school schedule. I know a lot of families struggle with morning routines during the school year. So summertime is actually a great time to trim up those morning routines. We'll talk more about morning routines in another video. So you've got your guide or some pieces of paper, you've got your calendar and some writing supplies, and start by reviewing and re-celebrating. Take time to acknowledge what's happened in the last 3 months for your family that's gone well. This is so important because the scary things, the overwhelming things, the unpleasant things are louder in our experience. And so we want to make sure that we bring forward, did we have a birthday? Did somebody get a promotion at work? Did somebody do well in school? You might even want to get out the measuring stick and actually measure their heights. How are the kids growing every 3 months? It's kind of amazing to see these growth spurts that happen physically as well. So you want to review and re-celebrate. What was working well? Like, you know what? We're doing this and it's working well. Let's keep doing it. And that goes into your plan. Also look at what isn't working so well. Like, you know what? Trying to take the dog for a walk at this certain time of day doesn't work for somebody's schedule. So we need to look at doing that at a different time. Or the way we've been doing dinners just isn't working for whatever reason. How do we want that to be different? Everybody in the family gets to give their input, and that also is empowering for children. When kids participate in the creation of something, they're more committed to it. There's more buy-in for whatever it is. So definitely have the kids be involved as well. Then it's time to plan ahead. So for example, in the summer solstice, You're looking ahead all the way through to the equinox, which is right into the start of school for most people. Now, your schedule might be different. So how do you want the summer to go? Make sure to schedule in fun and free time. And this is when I recommend families sort of start to look at how they want their routines to go for school. If there's anything you need to practice or plan ahead for. A couple of notes on planning ahead. Sometimes thinking about something in advance can increase feelings of anxiousness. For example, a dentist appointment. If a kid really doesn't like to go to the dentist and they're thinking about it for 3 months, that's probably not a great idea. So you can have your grown-ups only calendar where you know there's a dentist appointment coming up. You can plan for it, but you don't need to let your kids know until it's much closer to that time. On the other hand, if there's a big event like a school play coming up that your child is excited to participate in and is also feeling overwhelmed and anxious feelings about the performance, about the timing of things, about where they're supposed to stand on stage, all of these things, then you can take the time to say, hey, coming up August 20th, we've got this great school play we're really excited about. So what are you looking forward to and what are you worried about? They can get their feelings out and you can talk about it, and then you can help them prepare for it. Oftentimes, worries are things that don't actually come true. What if I trip and fall? You might not trip and fall. In fact, you probably won't. We do want to honor children's feelings, and we also want to help them think about what might go right. We call it swap it out. And so, yeah, you might trip and fall, or you might glide across the stage like a movie star and get applause and have a great time and have your friends really appreciate your participation in the play and the awesome dinner we're going to share together after we go to the play and take you out for dinner, that kind of thing. So just help them with their perspective about it. So planning ahead for that kind of thing is really good. So that's it. It's pretty simple. Look back. What's not working? What do we want to shift? What's working? What do we want to bring forward? How are the seasons changing? How is our schedule changing? And make a plan. Now, this isn't set in stone. You can shift, but just to know, like, okay, one thing I want you to do once you've planned is to check with yourself. Have we overplanned? Is there too much on our calendar? This is one of the best benefits of this seasonal plan is you recognize like the kids are in too many sports this season. This is going to be crazy trying to get them, all the shuttling that needs to happen and the overlapping schedules. And so just check with yourself. Do we have enough white space in our lives? Do we have enough free time? Do we have enough unstructured play that we can relax and take care of ourselves? If we're go, 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 our nervous system stays in that alert/alarm mode, and we're going to have anxious feelings. That's how our system works. So schedule in time to have some peace and quiet in your lives. This is a key strategy. And be sure to schedule in some joy. In my book, Anxious to Awesome, a practical guide for the whole family, I talk about a joy jar. What brings you joy? What's fun? What do you love to do? Each member of the family gets to share things that they love. And be sure to schedule it in. Be sure to get it on your calendar. What's life for if not to enjoy it, right? So make sure that you schedule in some joy as well. So let's wrap it up. Let me know in the comments below, are you going to try this seasonal plan with your family? Type yes in the comments below. It will encourage other families as well. If you like this kind of thing, please subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon so you get notified every time we post a video. Give it a thumbs up and share it with some other family that might be like, you know what, let's do this planning. You can compare notes and get ideas from each other. As I mentioned, we've created a guide for you, and that is in the description below, a link for that. So thank you so much. I'm excited to see how your plans go. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you again soon.